Hello, I'm Laura McHarrie at The Hidden Edge with another tea break tip on how to use business models and tools to help you manage your growing business. Today we're looking at decision trees. Decision trees are excellent tools for helping you choose between several courses of action. They provide an effective structure for you to lay out options and investigate the possible outcomes of choosing those options. They also help you to form a balanced picture of the risks and rewards associated with each course of action. Decision trees offer advantages over other methods of analysing alternatives because they're graphic and you can see the decision alternatives, the possible outcomes, and the chance events schematically. The visual approach is particularly helpful in comprehending sequential decisions and the outcome dependencies. And they're efficient. You can quickly express complex alternatives clearly, and you can easily modify the decision tree as new information comes in. Let's have a look at what a decision tree looks like. A decision tree is a diagram of nodes and connecting branches. Nodes indicate decision points, chance events or terminals, and branches correspond to each of the decision alternatives or event outcomes emerging from a node. So looking at this decision tree in the first instance, should we introduce a new program or product? We're starting from the left. New product or product offer, or consolidate existing are the two options that we have. Keep the lines apart as far as possible so that you can develop your options. In this case, develop the new product or offer as usual, or do fast-tracked research and development. Or if we're looking at consolidating existing lines, then strengthen existing lines or exploit existing lines. There might be other options open to you, in which case you add another line. At the end of each line, consider the results. If the results of taking that decision requires you to make another decision, then continue the decision tree outwards. Once you've plotted your tree diagram, test each branch of the tree to see if there's any solutions or outcomes that you haven't yet considered. If there are, draw them in. You should now have a good overview of the possible outcomes of your decision. Now it's time to evaluate the tree in terms of how much we might be able to generate from these particular solutions. So our best guess for developing as usual, our best case scenario, we would look at £100,000 coming in. Our worst case scenario, perhaps 10,000. And if we looked at a moderate figure, then that's probably sitting at around 50,000. It is now time to consider the probability of achieving each of those outcomes. When you're calculating the value of uncertain outcomes, you do this by multiplying the value of those outcomes by their probability. So if again we look at the top of the tree, we have a good outcome has a probability of 0.4. We multiply that by the 100,000 that we think we might get, and that gives us a total value of 40,000. If we do the same with a moderate return at 0.4 at £50,000 worth of value, that would give us £20,000. And 0.2 probability, the poor outcome, multiplied by the 10,000 we think in value, will give us £2,000. If we total those, we get £62,000, and that gives us a good median for calculating and reviewing the cost, the return that we would get on the investment that we're making. So to evaluate a decision node, write down the cost of each option along the decision line. Now subtract the cost from the outcome value that you have already worked out. This will give you a value that illustrates the benefit of that decision. You shouldn't include anything that you've already spent, as these are sunk costs and shouldn't be part of the calculation. Not all problems have clear solutions. Some decisions you will need to make about your business are likely to have uncertain outcomes or may be risky. Decision trees are a technique that help you map out the nature of these uncertainties and plan for different scenarios. They break down a problem into a number of points or nodes from which you can evaluate the outcomes or a different course of action. Have a go. Download the templates from the Hidden Edge website, and whilst you're there, please share your stories of what you've used to help you make decisions in your business. I'm building a portfolio of case studies and would love to include what has worked well for you. So that's it from me. Until next tea break time, enjoy the rest of this one.